Hey, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning talk. For first-time listeners, I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:45 a.m. Central Time. I'm a few minutes late today. I'm a few minutes late, man. Today was one of those days when I got the word late, just got what he wanted me to talk about. Everything I had planned, trying to do, just didn't feel right in my spirit. And I know that's not what I should be talking about. So he just waits. And just a few minutes ago, I got what I need to say today that feel right in my spirit. So this is one of those days. Sometimes that happen. I just gotta wait until God release what he want me to talk, what he want me to say. Mr. Osmond Smith, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? Jillian Big Sis, good morning. How are you doing today? So yes, so today what I want to talk about, I want to talk about that the lying spirit, because Ephesians 6:12 says we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Our fight is not against flesh and blood, and then it lay out all the hierarchies against principalities and all of these, the hierarchy of the kingdom, the enemy's kingdom, right? So our fight is not against flesh and blood. So there's something called a lying spirit, and we can look at the story here and see. So that's why I always tell people, if somebody doing something they're lying, don't come against them. Come against of what is ruling them, what is encouraging them, what's influencing them to lie. And that goes with different things, right? We always talk about it. So let's look at this story here. And it's a lot of principles in this story is in 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22. I can try to just sum up some of it, but we can read some of it. Right? But the whole story is let's go through a little part of the 1 Kings 22. It said, for 3 years there was no war between Aram and Israel. But in the third year, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, went down to see the king of Israel. The king of Israel had said to his officials, don't you know that Ramoth Gilead belongs to us, and yet we are doing nothing to retake it from the king of Aram? So he asked Jehoshaphat, will you go with me to fight against Ramoth Gilead? Jehoshaphat replied to the king of Israel, I am with you. I am as you are. My people are your people, and my horses are your horses. But Jehoshaphat also said to the king of Israel, first seek the counsel of the Lord. Karen McKen, good morning. Good morning. Beverly Gomes, good morning. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Yes, we're talking about the lying spirit today, but So the king of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat told the king of Israel, I'll go to war with you. It's not a problem. But first, let's see what the Lord have to say about this, right? And that's what we're saying about the spiritual realm. Things happen spiritually before they happen in this world here, right? Let's see what the Lord say about this. Marcy Wells, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? So Jehovah said, I have no problem going to war with you, but let's see what the Lord said about this, if we should go first. And that's the principle we need to take, guys. Before we do anything, let's run it by him and see what he's saying about it, because he said there's a way that seems right to us, but the end, it ended in death and destruction. Let's see what he says. So Jehoshaphat saying, hey, I don't mind. Let's see what God said about this thing. Terry Pilgrim, good morning. How are you doing? So the king of Israel brought together the prophets, about 400 men, and asked them, right? He brought his own prophets, right? He brought his own prophets, thinking he was not doing right. So his prophets are not the prophesying on God's behalf, right? So the king of Israel brought together the prophets, about 400 men, and asked them, shall I go to war against Ramoth Gilead, or shall I refrain? Here were the prophet said, I want you to take note of this, what the prophet said. He said, go, they answered, for the Lord will give it into the king's hand. So all his prophets, 400 of them, tell him, yeah, the prophecy we get, you're going to fight the war, you're going to win it, right? But here with Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat is a man of God. So here with Jehoshaphat said no. But Jehoshaphat asks, is there no longer a prophet of the Lord here whom we can inquire with? Jehoshaphat say, yeah, I hear what your prophets say. But I want a true man of God to tell me what God said about this war. I know what your 400 prophets say. That's your prophets. But I want a true. It's not a true man of God here that is prophesied. I want to hear what he has to say if we should go to this war or not, right? So the king of Israel answered Jehoshaphat, there is still one prophet, though he whom we can inquire of the Lord, but I hate him because he never prophesies anything good about me, but always bad. He is Micah, son of Imlah. He said, man, the God is real prophet of God, but he don't ever give me any good prophecy. I hate this man. He always prophesying bad things about me. But yes, you're going to get bad prophecy because you're following other gods. You're wicked. You're doing wickedness. So God is going to show you what's going to happen to you if you don't change your ways. So the prophecy is never going to be nice to you because you are not doing what you're supposed to do. So he hate the man for giving him the true word from God, right? So let's go on. So the king should not say that Jehoshaphat telling him now, after he said he hate this man don't prophesy nothing good about him. He said, the king should not say such a thing, Jehoshaphat replied. So the king of Israel called one of his officials and said, bring me Micah, son of Imlah, at once. Dressed in his royal robe, the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, were sitting on their thrones at the threshing floor by the entrance of the gate of Samaria, with all the prophets prophesying before them. Now Zedekiah, son of Kenah, had made iron. Okay, but now you go and get him, right? You go and get Micah. This man go and get Micah. We go on to 12. So all the other prophets were prophesying the same thing. So this guy telling Micah, look, bro, all of the king's prophets prophesying and telling him go to the war. Let what you saying agree with what the other prophets saying, because the king really want this, right? So you don't come and tell the man nothing, different. Let your word agree with what these other 400 prophets saying, bro, because you are always coming and giving this man something different. You are always coming and giving this man a negative stuff. On this one, agree with what he's saying, right? So he's saying all the other prophets were prophesying the same thing at Ramoth, to tell them, attack Ramoth Gilead and be victorious, they said, for the Lord will give it into your hand. The messenger who had gone to summon Micah said to him, look, the other prophets without exception are predicting success for the king. Let your word agree with theirs and speak favorably. But Micah said, as surely as the Lord lives, I can tell him only what the Lord said. Micah said, I don't care what you're saying or what they're saying. I could only tell you what God telling me. This prophecy is not from me. It's from God. So I can tell you what I think. I can tell you what God tell me. If God said go, I can say go. If he said don't go, that's what I got to say. I ain't going to lie to please the king. But Micah said, okay, if you don't want to hear truly what the Lord said, I can tell you just what you want to hear then. When he arrived, the king asked him, Micah, shall we go to the war against Ramoth Gilead or not? Attack and be victorious, he answered. This is Micah saying. Micah said, you want to hear what you want to hear? I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. Attack and be victorious, he answered, for the Lord will give it into your hands. But you know how Micah said it is just, Micah just telling him what he want to hear. Micah ain't giving him a true prophecy. So hear what he said now. The king said to him, how many times must I make you swear to tell me nothing about the truth in the name of the Lord? Micah said, yeah, you really want to hear the truth? Okay, here is the truth. I can give you the truth now, since you want to really hear the truth. Then Micah answered, I saw all Israel scattered on the hills like sheep without a shepherd. And the Lord said, these people have no master. Let each one of them go home in peace. So Micah said, you want to hear what's going on? You're going to get defeat in a nutshell. You're going to get defeat in this war. You want to hear the truth what God tell me? This is what God tell me. Then the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, didn't I tell you that he never prophesied anything good about me, but only bad? And Micah continued. I want you to listen to this part. This is the part we're talking about the lying spirit. We're showing that it's something called a lying spirit, right? And why these prophets, 400 prophets, told him to go to the war, right? That's this piece of coming to us. Set the stage to come to this piece here right now. Well, Micah's saying he's seeing what's going on. He get a little peek into the spiritual realm of what's going on, right? Then the king, then Micah continued, therefore, hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. So Micah, this vision Micah got now he's seeing in what's going on and how all this played out, right? He said, you see the Lord sitting on his throne now. We in the spiritual realm. I could see it in the spiritual realm now. Now I see the Lord sitting on his throne with all the multitudes of heaven standing around him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who will entice Ahab into attacking Ramoth Gilead and go into his death? So the Lord said, I'm predicting death for this man. For all the wickedness he's doing, I'm going to have him killed in this war. But I got to get Mr. Brian Cooper, Corey Keys, Littleton Wilds. Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? So the Lord's saying, because if he's wicked, I'm going to have him killed in this war. But how can I convince him to go to this war? Remember, these 400 prophets tell him to go, right? Let's see. Michael now showing you how these 400 prophets get to tell him this, all 400 of them, right? So the Lord saying, and the Lord said, who will entice Ahab into attacking Ramoth Gilead and go into his death there? One suggested this and the other suggested that. So all these spirits around the Lord, and they all say, man, we could do this, we could do that, you go, I go, you know, suggesting different things, right? They're all suggesting different things, right? Finally, a spirit came forward, stood before the Lord, and said, I will entice Ahab. So one bold spirit comes and said, God, you know what? I can go and do it. I can entice Ahab to go to this war, to go to his death. All right? He come forward. But by what means, the Lord said, so how are you going to do it? How are you going to entice Ahab to go to this war? How are you going to do it? What's your plan? All right? I will go and be a deceiving spirit. I will go and be a lying spirit in the mouths of all of his prophets, he said. So you see, when all 400 of his prophets tell him to go to this war, this is why they tell him. Because this lying spirit here, they gotta prove. Gotta prove it. Because when you're doing wrong, the own laws, it's gonna get you, and he's not gonna stop it because you breaking the law, and that's what the law said. So this lying spirit going on and influence all 400 of his prophets to tell him go to the war because he got approved to go to the war to reach his death. So you see here, so he said, I will go and be a lying spirit in the mouths of all his prophets, he said. And here God said, you will succeed in enticing him, said the Lord. Go and do it. So go and be a lying spirit in the mouths of these people. So guys, I'm showing this to show our fight is not against flesh and blood, as Ephesians 6:12 saying. It's against his principalities, against his stuff. So when you see this person you said is lying, they're lying, they're just telling lies. I want to prove to you there's something called a lying spirit. What you need to do is come up against that lying spirit that's influencing this person, just like how this lying spirit influenced 400 of the king's prophet to tell a lie against him. To tell a lie. Tell him a lie for him to go to the war. Right? So they were influenced by this lying spirit that God approved because this man was wicked. And God wanted him to go and that was his punishment, to go and die by the sword in a war. Right? So I'm showing you to show Ephesians 6:12 saying our fight is not against flesh and blood. That's what it's meaning. So next time you say a person is mean, next time you say a person is jealous, next time you say a person is controlling, next time you say a person is what's some of the stuff? Anything you saying that you describing that person as, that's what you need to come up against, because that's what's influencing that person. That's what's influencing them. It's a mean spirit influencing them. The jealous spirit of jealousy. We could prove and find out of this, right? Anger, spirit of anger. This person always angry. They're always angry. Come against the spirit of anger that's in them, right? So this here we're talking about a lying spirit, because you know some people that just lie, and they lie so much. We see that going on in politics right now. We see that going on with some of the politicians right now. Some of them lying even for their own name. Lying about their own name, lying. Spiritual insight now. You know what's influencing them, right? From this here. You know what influenced them. Lying without no reason. You're like, how come this person could lie about their own name, about the mother, about the job, about the finances? They're just lying like they don't make sense, right? But and every time they open their mouth again, it's another lie. They're telling a lie to cover up a lie. And you're like, this don't make sense. How this person can do this? I'm showing you what's going on, why they can do it. And to them, they ain't doing nothing wrong. They don't even know what they're doing because they're being influenced by a lying spirit. Somewhere along the line, that door was open, and that lying spirit is what controlling them. So when you're looking at these television, you see talking about these politicians who telling all these lies and lies and lies. Some of them, it's just lying, like this guy right now in the news from Florida. Everything is lies. You got a good idea what's going on now spiritually. All right, guys? So remember Ephesians 6:12, so our fight is not against flesh and blood. So anytime you're coming up against, once you can, because these things are so pronounced, you're going to see it. Oh, this person is judgmental. Oh, this person is mean. This person is that. This person is that. Come up against that. Whatever you're saying, that's that spirit was leading them. All right, guys? I'm going to leave that there. Guys. But have a great, great day. And we'll talk again on Wednesday. All right. Goodbye.